Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today we are making Bunuelos de Viento. I have talked to several of you on Instagram and I know that they are called different things in different countries and different places. So if you have tasted these before, let me know in the comments below. We are going to go through the process from beginning to end. So stay tuned and let's get started. We are going to start by making the batter, and these ingredients should be fairly accessible, and these were things that I had at home. So I am starting with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and then before we move on, we're going to make sure to whisk all the dry ingredients together before we add the wet ingredients. So for the wet ingredients, we are going to add in 2 large room temperature eggs, and you're going to notice in the beginning that the batter is going to be a little bit thick and a little bit bumpy and lumpy. That's totally fine. I'm adding in 2 tablespoons of melted butter and then 1/4 cup of milk to begin the mixing process of my batter. I also added in 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and I'm going to start mixing slowly, and as you can tell, we want to just break down the yolks and the egg whites into the rest of the ingredients, and we're going to slowly start to add in 1 cup of room temperature milk. You can definitely use 1%, 2%. In this case, I used 1% milk, but if you have whole milk, that's fine too. So we're just going to continue to add in our milk slowly and then incorporate it to the rest of the batter. And as you can see in the beginning, the batter is going to be a little bit hard. You don't want to add all the milk in one go, because what we want to do is we want to make sure to break down any bumps, because in the end what we're looking for is a very silky smooth batter, and it's going to resemble funnel cake batter. Some people even say that these taste like funnel cake. It also resembles like pancake batter, but it's a little bit more runny. So as you can see here, I've already added in the whole cup of milk, and you can already see that the consistency of the batter is a lot more runny. It's a lot more watery, and that's exactly what we're looking for. Just keep mixing until you get rid of all the lumps and bumps. Next, we want to make sure to prepare our station. So in this case, I have my batter on the left and I have my pan heating up on the right. So I'm using vegetable oil to fry my buñuelos, and this pan fit perfectly, approximately 3 of these buñuelos. It's a medium-sized pan, and what you want to do is you want to turn on your pan to high in the beginning. So for the first 2 to 3 minutes, leave it on high so that your oil is able to get hot. And after the 3 minutes, bring down the temperature or the little knob of your fire or the stove to medium high. So I hope that made sense. We're going to start on high, and then before putting anything in, go back to medium high. Now this next part is very important. You want to make sure to heat up your mold. So I know that when I purchased this mold, a lot of the reviews said that the batter wasn't sticking to the mold or that it would get too stuck, and we're going to go over the problems that you might encounter. But it's very important that before you dip your batter with your mold, that your mold is hot. Otherwise, if your mold is cold, the batter is not going to stick to it, and it's going to be messy, and you're going to get frustrated. So here you see that I'm turning down my heat to medium high because we're about to start the frying process. In the beginning, you'll notice that I left my mold heating up for approximately 4 minutes. Through the rest of the video, you'll only see me dip it in for approximately 10 seconds. That's because when you first start, your mold is extremely cold. and it hasn't been cured. So that's why in the beginning I left it for longer. But here, what you basically do is you take your mold out, you wiggle out the excess oil, you dip it into your batter, but make sure you don't go over the rim. If you go over the rim of the mold, your batter is going to fry on the mold and it's not going to get unstuck. And I'll keep showing you in more clips, but as you saw there, before we placed it into the oil, I kind of gave the mold a little twist and a little wiggle, and you saw that the batter started to pre-bake or pre-cook before we placed it into the oil. This is going to give you buñuelos that have less bubbles in them, and it's going to make them a little bit more uniform. So here we go again. I wiggled the excess oil. I'm dipping my mold into the batter, making sure that it reaches the rim. I give it a little bit of a twist, and I let my buñuelo pre-bake, pre-cook onto the mold before placing it in. Once you have it in the oil, you're going to see it bubble. Once it bubbles a lot, start kind of wiggling and shaking the top of the mold, and that's when your buñuelo should release. Now, you'll always see that after the buñuelo releases, I always leave the mold back into the oil. That's because you don't want your mold to be cold, and you'll see a few of the mistakes that I made. Like for example, here, this was the first mistake that I made, is I didn't put it back into the oil because I didn't think that you had to keep heating it. So basically what you're going to see me do is bring it back here, and then you're going to see me struggle a little bit by looking that some of the edges weren't grabbing on to some of the batter, and I was a little bit confused. But basically that happens when your mold is not hot enough. So if you look over at the buñuelo that's over on the frying pan, you're gonna see that it's missing a little bit of like the side or a little bit of the spots. It's because my mold was cold and it wasn't grabbing. If you see here, it also happened here, and a little bit of the batter dropped, and that basically happens when your mold is not hot enough. It won't coat the entirety of your mold, and then you're going to get buñuelos that look like the ones that I have in the frying pan that are half circles or halfway done. But for it being like my fourth or fifth buñuelo, it's fine. If you're learning the process, I think it's a learning curve. You're going to get used to the rhythm of your frying and taking out the one that's already done and then placing the other one. You're going to find your rhythm. Just make sure that you don't get frustrated. Make sure that your mold is hot enough. So here we're going to repeat it again, just so you can see it. And here we had the perfect amount of heat, the perfect amount of batter. And just as if your mold is not hot enough, if your mold is too hot, you can also run into some problems, and I have some clips of that. So just be sure, like I said, your first few buñuelos might not be perfect, or they might be perfect, but then your other ones might be a little bit wonky. In the end, take it as practice. That's what I did here. You'll find your rhythm, and you'll find the pace of frying and taking out a buñuelo and shaking it and then placing the mold into the batter. It's actually a very fast process. I thought it was going to be a process that was going to take hours, but it actually went by pretty fast, too fast, that at some point some of my buñuelos burned a little bit, but it's totally fine. Another thing that I do want to mention, and I know I'm talking a lot in this video, but I want to make sure that you understand exactly how to do this at home and so that you're not frustrated. But when you drop in your buñuelo, you don't have to flip it the other way around. So as you see how it drops into the pan, that's exactly how it's going to fry. At no point do you have to flip it over to the underbelly so that it fries on the other side, because it's fairly thin batter, so it's going to make sure that it fries all the way through. You don't have to do any flipping. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. Another thing that I want to mention, and this was one of the things that was worrying me when I saw how fast this process was going, was that some of these treats, when you fry them, they have to be dipped into sugar or cinnamon sugar right away, otherwise the sugar won't stick. In this case, what I did is I basically had my little station where I had a plate with some paper towels to drain off the excess oil, and I just continued to stack all of my buñuelos there, and I powdered them with sugar at the end. So you can leave them to the end and you can coat them with sugar at the end with no worries at all. Here in this next clip is exactly what I was talking about when your mold is too hot. So in this case, what happened to me is that I left my mold for too long in the oil and it started to get hot. So you're going to see that basically I'm frying some of these buñuelos, and for some reason, I think what I was doing is I was actually going to get more paper towels, and I left my mold in the oil for too long. One of my buñuelos started burning. So basically what happens is the opposite of when your mold is too cold. When your mold is too hot, what's going to happen is it's going to fry the batter in the bowl that you're using, and it's going to begin to fall off of your mold. And here were the beginnings of what I call my disaster, or like my 2 minutes of disaster. When you saw the little batter dripping off of my mold, that gave me a sign that I didn't know how to interpret, that my mold was too hot. So here I'm just going to continue to take out these buñuelos. Make sure you do have some tongs on hand because they're going to help you remove the buñuelo that is already ready. So I'm going to just let you keep watching this, but be sure that when you're doing this, you don't have anything else going on, because these are very quick. You can mess up very quickly. So be sure to always be near your project, and also please keep your kids out of the kitchen because the oil is very hot and you need to make sure to concentrate when doing this. So let me leave you to watch this. Okay, so here is the exact moment when it happens. So the batter is already pre-frying in my bowl, and as you see, it didn't stick, and I tried to just dip it in again and it keeps doing the same thing. So then I don't know what to do because I know that the mold is hot. I don't want to run it in the water. I don't want to touch it. So I just went and threw it into the frying pan. But that's what basically happens when your mold is too hot. It's going to start to pre-bake or pre-fry or pre-cook the batter in the bowl that you're using. So make sure that when you're doing this, you catch your rhythm, and when you have your rhythm, don't stop, because this is going to go by very fast. What I ended up doing is I just fished out the excess batter that was already cooked, and I just kept going. I did end up eating that little weird buñuelo. It was still tasty. It wasn't pretty, but I just want to make sure that you guys know what happens if it's too cold, if it's too hot, and why some of the reviews on these molds say that the batter doesn't stick or that it gets stuck, because it is a little bit fidgety. It's not a hard project, but it does require a lot of patience. It requires a lot of babysitting the actual project. So make sure that when you're doing this, you have time and you're not in a rush. Now, as far as coating your buñuelos, you can do it several different ways. Some people like to coat them in powdered sugar. I did some of these with just regular sugar, and then some of them I did with cinnamon sugar. They really all taste amazing. I'm just giving a second pass to the first ones that I did because I didn't coat them enough. I've had buñuelos where you have that one bite that doesn't have any sugar at all, and it's kind of annoying because it just tastes like fried batter. So I just wanted to make sure that when people bit into them, they got a taste of the sugar and the batter all together. And as you can see, my little nasty pieces there, I also coated them and I ate them and they were delicious. So here I just added Really just by looking at it, eyeballing it. To the sugar that I had previously, I just sprinkled out some cinnamon, and if I felt like it needed more, I sprinkled more. I'm sure that there's like recipes for the exact cinnamon sugar ratio or recipe. You can definitely look that up, but I just eyeballed it. In the end, everyone thought they were super delicious, but you can definitely coat these in whatever coating you want to. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was very talkative. I know that I talked through the majority of the video. I hope that that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that you understood every single mistake that I made, every single thing that you might encounter and how to fix it and what to do so you can keep going and you don't have to throw away your project. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below if you have tasted these before. Don't forget to share this video, hit the like button, and subscribe before you go. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.